But guess what? The man who Christians believe was the Messiah and who died for man's sins, Jesus, he didn't mention homosexuality one single time. That's right, not even once. And if it is the moral issue, as many religious right claim it is, don't you think he would have mentioned it at least once? Barack Obama gave a speech comparing these rules to the teachings of Jesus.
Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay and that eating shellfish is an abomination? How about Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application?
He said it's very difficult, and it's almost radical to say turn the other cheek, or, love thy neighbor as thyself, or judge not lest ye be judged.
It's a very radical position.
That's what he said.
But it's not intended to be applied to a civil government.
Wait, so the teachings of Jesus aren't intended to be applied to our government, but Leviticus is? I mean, didn't you say you wanted an amendment against gay marriage? Thus again, the religious right focuses on minute passages instead of Jesus' teachings. But then, this is the former preacher who made this joke about Obama at an NRA rally after something fell backstage.
But the reality is, and I'm worried because, frankly, that was Barack Obama. He just tripped off a chair. He's getting ready to speak, and somebody aimed a gun at him, and he dove for the floor.
But, for the sake of arguing, let's say those guys are right. Say it is a sin to be gay, and every day homosexuals are doing things that are contrary to God's word. Now, can you tell me how this is any different than lying, or cheating, or lusting, or gossiping, or any other wrongs us heterosexuals do on a day-to-day basis? I mean, the notion that just by being gay, someone is less moral than anyone else is just absurd. And even though it is absurd, these guys don't tell you that. They want you to only focus on a couple issues that they've deemed to be important. Nothing else matters. But for many people, there are other issues of far greater importance. I decided to go around and find out what these issues were.
Where you served?
I volunteered for the 1st Gulf War under George Bush Sr. I was a load crew chief on F-16s. I loaded about 250,000 pounds worth of ordnance that was dropped in anger over the enemy. As far as any sort of danger that I was in, we had 36 Scud attacks directed at our base.
Wow.
Well, I know in 2000 I was a single-issue voter, and that was the Second Amendment rights, okay, and which is why I voted Republican at that point. So I don't disrespect anybody who is a single or a two-issue voter, all right? It is their view. I mean, they live in America. It is their opinion to be able to vote that way based on one single thing.
So like you said, you were a single-issue voter in 2000. You supported Bush then, and have you always sided with the Republicans? You agree?
I've been a Republican all of my life, yes.
Always have been?
Always have been. Since before I could legally vote, I sided with the Republicans. I still believe in a lot of traditional Republican values. I am not an extreme right-winger because I do not have that religious, Christian religion going for me, but I do believe in individual rights and responsibilities. I do believe in small government. However, it's gotten a little out of hand with some of these companies that are just getting so big and being very irresponsible.
So you think the trickle-down philosophy doesn't work?
I don't think anybody thinks it actually works. So I think everybody knows that it doesn't, but the only people that want to keep it going are the people that are at the top. And they're the ones with the money, they're the ones that can purchase, politicians and whatnot, either legally or illegally. So I don't think it'll stop, unfortunately.
Well, like you said, you supported Bush. Who are you voting for this time?
Obama.
And why is that?
A couple reasons. The biggest reason is because I don't trust the Republican Party anymore, and they need to get a huge slap. I mean, I hope that not only the presidency, but more seats in the Congress and more seats in the Senate are lost by Republicans, so that Democrats will have an opportunity to actually do everything they say they want to do. Well, the biggest thing would be the economic turnaround for this country, having to do with all of the benefits given to the top 3% of the earners in this country. All right, I think that's ridiculous. I think there should be.
So, speaking of Exxon, what do you think should be done with them? For instance, McCain says by
Break 'em up.
giving them even more of a tax break, they'll invest. He claims they'll invest more in alternative energy.
That's just foolish.
Oh.
The war. Not even the warmongering, just the war. I used to believe that maybe we were there for the right reasons, maybe there was a moral basis, but nothing that has ever come, that George Bush has said, has come even remotely true. So I think it's a waste. I think we've already wasted 4,400 American lives. We don't need to waste more. Just
so you think they've
6 or
died in
7
vain?
people. No, I think 7 or 8 or 10 people have gotten really, really rich because they've died. But that's the extent of the reason they've died. It's embarrassing.
I think that religion has a lot of great messages, but the whole institution has just corrupted religion. Church cannot, to me, go along with anti-abortion and also teach abstinence. You know, if you don't give the kids the tools to make sure that they don't get pregnant, you know, what are you supposed to do?
I have noticed that states that have abstinence-only programs, like South Carolina, where I'm from, have much higher teen pregnancy rates.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, again, anybody that's going to deny that teenagers are going to have sex is just living in a fantasy world.
These people say they're pro-life. When it's in the womb, I'll give it to them. They want it to live. But as soon as it's born, it's like, you know, if your mom doesn't have health insurance because she's not working hard enough, it's her fault. You just need to take matters from. If you're born in a really bad environment, if you're in poverty, it's your parents should work harder. It's their fault. You know, you want to go to college, or whatever, and don't have the means. I'm sorry, work hard. You know, basically, you know, health insurance, poverty, food. You don't have adequate nutrition. I'm sorry, that's not our problem. You know, so it's like this pro-life end at birth.
Well, yes, I do believe that pro-life would be pro-fetus. You know, like I said, in religion, they decided that, or some scientist, I'm not sure exactly how they came upon the beginning of life, but it began at conception. But like you said, once the child is born, you know, they don't have health care, you know, they need assistance, you know, we want to force these moms to have their child, but then we don't help them out with, you know, financially. The same people also that are so pro-life are the ones that were so behind George Bush when we're all so afraid to go kill innocent children in another country. If you're going to be pro-life, then yes, you need to be able to help these people that do decide to have kids. Even if they don't do it for religious reasons, we don't have great avenues out there for these.
Which way you're going to vote?
Definitely for Obama.
And why is that?
Well, Obama has a great message. He believes in the things that I believe in. You know, taking care of our country before we start spreading our, you know, democracy to every other country. We need to take care of the poor. The race issues in our country, which people seem to think aren't an issue, but they obviously are. Energy, you know, economics, you know, a new energy plan. What else is there? Oh, healthcare. You know, too many people are without healthcare. The biggest thing I hear from people on the other side, which I have good friends, is, you know, I make my money and I should hold on to it. I'll give a couple bucks out of my paycheck if it helps a kid get his shots. You know, I don't have a problem with that. And increased taxes are not going to affect us.
I know it's you know, some people would argue it's not fair to have to pay, you know, extra taxes that take care of these children, but would you say we have a moral obligation?
Oh yes, to children. Oh yeah, especially like you brought up earlier, if you don't want to kill a baby while it's in the womb, but you don't want to take care of it when it's out. I mean, it's not the kid's fault. I don't see an argument. I can't see how anybody could argue against health care for children. There's no argument for that, no matter how much of a deadbeat their parent is. All the descendants.
Yes, sir.
One second. What are you guys doing?
Well, we're talking about a thing for work.
Yeah.
You're not videotaping it, are you?
Even though I've worked at Briarwood Mall for over 4 years, they still told me to get out. I guess they don't want you there if you're not making them more money. So I decided to go around town instead.